I take it back. We're gonna have someone joining the stream here in a second, so we're gonna wait a minute here. Someone who hasn't played the game before is gonna join as a viewer, and then I'm gonna maybe do some more initial explaining as I make moves here. If anyone's watching this video in the future, this may be more information and less entertainment than you're looking for. On the flip side, if you haven't played the game before, this may be useful. We'll see. Could also be a debacle. Okay. All right, the viewer says let the debacle begin. So then, in that case, we're going to go with reasonable mode here. So we're playing in what's called standard mode, standard run here. I guess there's different types of ways of playing the game, right? You have campaign, which is kind of like, kind of obvious. There's some goals and there's a storyline and so on. It's not super fleshed out yet, but it is fun and interesting. Standard run is just like, I don't know, sandboxy style. You are trying to get points, and that can be fun and useful. Endless mode removes the timer that's built in. There's a 25-year timer on all these other maps. And it is what creates the entertainment, the struggle, the questions, the trade-offs that you have to make, right? Endless mode ruins it. It just changes it. It lets you be able to avoid all the trade-offs you're going to have to make when you're in a time crunch, basically. So you would use this is the most sandbox-like environment. You would use this if you really want to get used to technologies, figure out how they work that you may not get in standard runs because you haven't generated enough. And then there's ranked runs where you can play against other players attempting to get high scores on a weekly map. So similar to Off-World Trading Company, for example. Okay, so we're going to do standard run. Standard run has different difficulty levels. We're going to probably take reasonable here because it's just going to let me demonstrate more things to someone who hasn't played before, because I'm still working on challenging. Challenging is where we would be trying to play right now if I were not going to be doing more explaining, but we are. So we're going to choose reasonable. We can get a random seed here. We can save the seed and give them to other people. We can get some quirks, but we're going to start with just a standard one. Just hit random a couple times and hit accept. So first thing you do is you choose your council. You have 5 council members. They all have various techs. So some of the techs that the council members have are unique to them. Others can float between them. So you do want to check each of these every time. We're going to choose 3 of the 5 for every game. So we're just going to check here. They also come with perks. Their techs are up here. Their perks are down below down here. We're going to look. These guys are the Euphorians. We're going to give them a quick look here. I won't explain all of the text because that would just be too much information for someone who hasn't played before, I think. But that is the process that we're going through here, is just checking their texts to see who we want to start with here. I have to remember we're in a reasonable mode game, so economy is a little bit less important to me. The difference between the difficulty levels is just economy, how much credits you can generate. No, Siamese, no. Don't expect ridiculous scores from me. Oh, because of the teleporters? Okay, I'm gonna try that. Maybe not right now. Right now is more of an explanatory game because I know someone's watching who hasn't played before. So it's gonna be a little bit remedial, I think, for you. I don't know. It's just a reasonable mode game. It's not gonna be super high scoring, I don't think, either. We played a reasonable last night and it didn't go well, which is kind of embarrassing. Anyway, so let's see here. We may take orbital labs here, actually. Technocracy is not super great with orbital labs. Just want to pick something that I think will... Something that will let me come up with some late game options here, since we're trying in reasonable mode and we want to see if we can get to late game. This is not what we want. We don't have great demonstration techs here, unfortunately. It's going to be fine. We're going to be all right. It's just going to be harder It's not going to be a slam dunk, which means it's going to be hard to demonstrate certain things. We don't have any late game tech here. It doesn't matter. We're going to be able to display the basics. If you want to see a follow-on game for more use of late game stuff, then that'll be a different story. Given that, let's check just really quickly then. Silithid again. Okay, a lot of flexibility from Silithid. Probably wouldn't take him here ordinarily, but yeah, we'll see what we can do here. So so in addition to the tech, so you don't get any of these at the start, but you have to earn science for these. You get what's called each advisor has a perk. They show 2. They have a random selection, maybe from 4, maybe a pool of 4, or maybe it's 3. They show 2, you get to pick 1. So we're going to take initial starting money here on the Ephorians, and then we are probably also going to take... we'll take Bakar's perk. I wouldn't ordinarily, in a reasonable mode, take that. Avoid joint factories. This is what we're going to go with just for demonstration. So you start out, the universe is at the center of a black hole. You have these sort of like, you can't see them yet. You have to scan here in order to find planets to populate, to connect. Okay, so it's kind of a connection game. I don't know, it's chess-like in some ways. You're trying to think about the future and possible like connections and so on. We'll see. We'll demonstrate it as we go here. But it's a wormhole. Sorry, Simus. Right, a black hole would be a problem, I think. So every time you scan, it costs 3 and 1 month. So the constraints on the game in general are the amount of money you have to spend because things cost money, but also time. You start out with 25 years, 12 months in a year. That can be modifiable slightly with some tech that I suggest everyone avoid. But anyway. So whenever I scan here, you can see it's gonna cost me 3 credits when I hold this down here, and 1 month. So the trade-off is always between time, money, and tech, basically. So another thing to note at the beginning here is that as soon as you scan, the game is very forgiving in terms of allowing you to try different combinations of things. You can undo actions in the upper right-hand corner with this redo button up here. But once you scan, and there's some other actions in the game you can take as well, anytime you reveal new RNG-like information, you cannot take that move back. So you're scanning here, you won't be able to undo, right? So I try and find like what I think are going to end up being the good scans I'm going to want to take that are going to give me the most. It's going to give me the most information here at the start of the game. Something like this it's going to look like. So we'll scan here. We will scan probably here. This isn't a great scan, but it's not a great scan because the signal strength of these sort of determines its likelihood of becoming a planet. So you can see we didn't find many planets here, just the one forge down here. Okay, so we'll take the final ones we've planned. Okay, so this is not a great start for us, actually. Like, the sparsity of planets in here and it being reasonable mode is kind of a little surprising because this is an ice ball that we can't use right now. So you start out with these planets. Planets all have production outputs, and they have inputs that they want in order to be happy and to be able to send their outputs sometimes. So the like basic portion of the game is to... I did turn quirks off, Simus, yes. Quirks are off. You left click on a planet here. It gives you some options as to what type of planet you want to turn it into, and that determines what inputs it takes and what outputs it takes. All of these different planet classes of planets, if you will, have different options for what they can be turned into. When you turn a planet into a month, when you turn a planet into something that you've taken, it costs money to take the planet. Time in the form of 3 months. If you read the tooltip to the right there, it says 3 months, 5 credits, and then also upkeep, -2 credits per year. Okay, so every time you take a planet, you're burning 3 months of time. Remember, you only have 25 years, so it's relatively expensive in terms of time to take planets. So initially, when you start playing the game, if you watch the intro videos, and they're pretty good, that the game gives you, they will advise a stable loop. And in reasonable mode, I would probably not follow that advice usually. I would jump to labs, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do a stable loop here like the game recommends. So we're looking for some combination of inputs and outputs that's going to lead to positive income. It's going to cost us money to get set up, so our bank will be lower at the end, but we won't be losing money each year. The other mechanic, another mechanic, not the other, but there's another mechanic called happiness, which we'll see here in a second. So what we're doing here is we can go around and figure out what kind of loop we want here at the start. There's a desert here too. Desert and ice balls I cannot use right now, so our options here are actually pretty limited. Okay, hold on. What are we gonna do here? We can do something. Does this reach? No. Holding down Alt when you hover over a planet will show you some, not all, of the potential connections. So we can see that this, I think this is a jungle, is in range of this forge, but this Earth-like is not. I say some, not all, because asteroids will block them, and energy sometimes isn't taken into account and things like that, but this helps you do some planning. So, okay. Let's say we did... No. This also not in range of the forge. This is a bad start for us. Okay, so what can we do here? We're going to do this. We're going to produce bots here. Bots are going to get us nothing on a primordial. It has to be on the jungle. It's too far from the jungle. Bots can't be created here. This is a bad start for reasonable mode. It really is. Okay, we could drive... If we had a second primordial up here, we'd be alright for the wheat and the goo. Let's see, what are we going to do here? We might end up hanging something here at the start, which is not ideal. Not that. Sorry, not that either. I don't know what I'm doing here. I guess we're gonna... Because this also doesn't reach, right? The bots can't reach anything that would ever use it. I would take another scan here. We're gonna play this differently then. We are gonna play this then, I think, for an initial lab. This is in range if we do the asteroid. I'll show you the undo mechanic really quickly here. If we... This asteroid's in range. If I hold down Alt, now you can see the connection is drawn there. We can also undo that because I didn't scan. So when you run into things like that that you want answers to, you can find them out. I guess it wasn't blocking at all to begin with. We're going to see if we can get an early goo lab here, it looks like. Something like this. Completely economically unsustainable, which we'll fix in a minute. So you can see this planet's going to produce pops. It's going to send a pop out here that's going to produce goo. It's going to send a pop out here that's going to produce goo. This planet will also produce goo. So what we're going to end up doing here is actually creating an early lab. Labs are very expensive, both in their initial cost in terms of time and money. They're expensive, but also maybe more importantly, they're expensive in terms of their upkeep. So in the first year here, if we say we want an early lab jumpstart here in reasonable mode, we're going to take planets that are cheap because we need to be efficient with our time at the end of the year. Credit income and deficits in the form of upkeep and income, right, take place at the end of the year. So you end up microing around the December deadline, and also you want to manage your time. You don't want to waste time. You can always press forward here to skip to the next year, but you're using a certain number of moves that you have in the game, right? Every time you do that. So the initial moves here are going to end up always being like pretty carefully thought out by me anyway. And this is not great. This is already a bad start, but it's fine. So we're taking this planet, even though we're not going to generate any trade income with it, and we don't really even have a plan to generate trade income. As soon as we took it, you can see our upkeep has gone to -1 here. We're also going to take a second planet. We're not taking the lab because it's much more expensive at the end of the year. So even though we want the lab, we could take a lab now, put a pop in it and a goo into it, but it takes 2 months to place, so that would put us in January, and we would have taken the income hit from it. So we're going to send the pop from here to here. You can see it meets this guy's need for his pop, and he's now producing an extra goo. It also, I'm just going to undo it and see it again. You can see we're going from -3 to +1. That's because the pop export counts as a good import here. So this guy's trade income, if I hover it, you can see it says +3 for the planet overall, +4 in terms of trade income, +1 for up or -1 for upkeep. Okay, so now we're in December. We have one move left this month. We could take another planet. We probably don't want to do that yet. Instead, we're going to scan at the cost of 3 in 1 month. We're going to take kind of only a no, we're going to take a better scan that's here. We're assuming this is an asteroid or something, and it's going to be haunt us if we don't take it now. But we need better options here. So we're looking up here. We did not get a good scan there for us. That's okay too. This thing pops up here called tasks. Tasks are given by our advisors that we selected at the beginning. It comes at the end of your first year. And they can involve doing things like discovering planets, making connections, etc. They can involve a variety of things. So after you pick your 2 planets, make an initial connection, and get your scan out here, it's always best to check the tasks first before you make any other moves, even if you have plans like we do. So we're going to check the tasks. Like scanning, when you check the tasks, because they're kind of RNG-like, it locks you in, so we won't be able to undo anything. We scanned it as well, so we already can't undo anything right now, but just so you know, you want to be careful about when you check tasks. Okay, so again, we have 3 advisors. We need to choose 2 tasks to undertake. We don't need to, we can ignore them, but these generate score and also rewards that we may want. The rewards initially are not great. Mostly people choose these for score. The rewards in general are not great. They're more like just things you need to do to feel like you've had a good game and to get a high score. Okay, we don't really have any plans for minerals. We don't actually have any plans for goods either. We don't have any plans for any of these. So we're going to take the ones that are most likely based on what I can see. Minerals, okay. Forge World, the first and the third are kind of support each other, so I probably should take those, but we're going to take this instead. These are much easier to complete. They just involve production and not happiness. So we'll hit accept tasks. We can see that our happiness here is 95% down from 100, and it's dropping 1% per year. Happiness is the result of connections that cities have. When their needs are unmet, their happiness drops. So this guy's needs are unmet. He needs a wheat to produce this pop. You get some initial production without providing their needs, so you can kind of bootstrap certain things. But that's what's happening with our happiness. And happiness is a way you can lose the game, but it's a score modifier at the end of the game. If your happiness is 140%, then you get your scores multiplied by 1.4. So happiness is really driving a lot of your decisions in the game, especially toward the end game. In the early game, you let it suffer, especially if you're doing something crazy, like building an early lab here, which I am. So remember, we sacrificed... We didn't put the lab down first and try and get any tech out of it, because we weren't going to get any tech out of it for the cost that it was going to cost us. We're going to put it down now immediately. We're also going to take this planet, which we had planned, and dump this in here. Now notice we're hanging lots of things here now. We have no plan to provide this wheat, no plan to provide this bot. This is bad play. Don't emulate this play. And we have the goo here. So we'll probably leave this here for now. And you can see my economic situation is really bad in September. I'm going to probably end up negative on the year here. Excuse me, I'm probably going to end up negative on the year. So before we connect this planet up here for the research that's going to provide us, you can see our lab a lab takes 1 pop to run and at least 1 export item to research, and goo is one of the things it can research. We pull the second goo in here, so the initial pop and the initial research item generates 1 lab. Any additional number of the other item generates +2 each. Okay, so we're generating 3 labs here, losing a lot of money to do it. Okay, I didn't mention this yet, but slipways also block each other. These things between the planets that we draw, they're called slipways. You can see, you can left click and kind of look around and see if they're in range and how much they're going to cost and so on. Okay, but you cannot cross them. So here's an example. Here, as soon as I get to this one, it's a red line, right? I can't go in this direction anymore. And that's another sort of like puzzle type mechanic in the game, where it's like you have to think about where you want your connections to be. Because I'm not playing so much as I am also explaining, I'm going to do a much worse job of that, I'm sure, this game. Also, worth noting that the cost of slipways is determined by their length. So short slipway, no problem. Out here it ends up being 12. So this lab out here is unfunded in terms of pop for him. It's generating goo, but it's a super long slipway with our early economy. So we're going to kind of delay this one and leave it marked here so that we know we want it, but we're not going to connect it right now. Instead, we're going to think about how we can resolve the unhappiness here. This guy wants a bot. We know we can produce them here eventually, but not with what we can see right here. We knew that when we made this choice, this terrible choice we've made. We also can solve the wheat here. This involves a bot. This is a bot we can get. We can get it by sending a pop-up here to produce bots. So when we deliver this wheat into this planet, which wants it, it will upgrade. Okay, it will go from level 1 to level 2. Once it gets the wheat, it's producing 2 pops right now for us. We're using both of them. At level 2, it will produce a 3rd pop. That 3rd pop is planned by us to go up here to produce bots. Bots will produce wheat on this planet, which will satisfy the wheat here. Okay, so these are the types of moves you're making. I don't claim these are good moves right now, but this is the way the game works, right? So this will also, these moves up here will generate economic output for us. This could actually produce goo, but we couldn't see it before. If I had known this is right here, I may have chosen the goo lab to be more like here, and it would have been a much, much better lab. We would have been able to put a pop in there and so on, but we couldn't see it without the scan. Once you scan, you're locked in, so the struggle is real. Okay, so we're going to do this, I think, because it can solve the happiness issue for us. It generates some income, which we need, and maybe we'll then think about bringing this guy in at the end here. We still don't have a pop plan for him because we're only going to get one more out of this whole procedure, and we need the one to fund this whole procedure here. Okay. Holding down Alt here, a warning about Alt. I'm holding down Alt here, and this is going to work, but because I don't have a pop available right now, it's not showing that connection. It's super annoying because it makes you think it's not available, but it is. So be careful with Alt. It has these problems. You really want to maybe not use it as much. It's useful to tell if something's in range. Again, most of the time, it works for that. But okay, so we'll complete this. So we'll take this. Wait, we're gonna go back because I'm going to show you the micro issue here. So the micro issue here is that I could take this planet first because I was like looking at it and thinking about it and dealing with it, but it's September. Okay, so end of the year microing here. If I were to take this first, I can't actually deliver this in the 1 month that we have. It takes 1 month to draw a slipway. I can't increase my economy by the end of the year, and I've taken an additional economic hit by owning the planet. So instead, what if we took something that can generate income by the end of the year, this one, because it can deliver the wheat right here. So this is going to end up being a better move going into the next year. So that's the type of thing you also want to be watching out for, those types of micro moves. So we delivered the wheat, we generated the pop. We're going to use the pop-up here. If we hold down Alt, we can see that that connection is now there. Okay, so we're going to pursue this plan. We're going to put the pop in here. We're going to get bots out of him. The bots are going to come over here, generate the wheat. And then this guy upgraded as well. When cities upgrade, they take on additional needs, right? And then there's this whole, cascading chain of dependencies that you're trying to resolve and drive income and so on and so forth. But here we resolve the happiness issue on this planet. We generated economic output. We're now at plus 10. Of course, it cost us quite a bit of money to do that, so our initial bankroll is dropping here. Okay. We did get an early lab. It's working out for us so far. It's going to be fine, I think. It's actually, in reasonable mode, it's going to be fine, I think. So let's just play with this for a second here. Let's say we did take this now. We take it just to get the goo out. We cannot fund the pop right now. We have no plan for funding this pop. We're just taking it to get the lab. And we're just seeing, okay, what does this do to our bankroll? Okay, so it puts us, we don't generate any income from a good delivery to a lab. Okay, that's another way in which they affect your economy. They cost upkeep. They cost money to place. You're paying for the slipways that get to them, and they generate no money, just labs. I don't know, this move is marginal. We still have enough money to work with, but we really do have to start thinking about generating income now. In reasonable mode, I think this is good. We're going to take this move, even though it costs quite a bit of money. We're hanging the bot here. We're hanging the pop here, and we're hanging the bot here. We're taking happiness debuffs there. One thing to know about happiness, you'll forget this, but I'll tell you anyway, is that this minus 1% increases all the way up to minus 8% every year. So we held this planet through the year, and you can see it's at minus 2 now. Up here, this one's only at minus 1 because we just created this unhappiness. If you resolve the unhappiness before it gets to the maximum of minus 8, then it's fine. It's like the happiness never was there. And remember, happiness equals score, among other things. If it gets to minus 8, then you get a permanent debuff on the planet of a minus 3. So let's say it goes up to minus 8, and then finally we figure out that we need to correct it and we deliver a pop to it. It's like, okay, well, it's problem solved. No, it will have this minus 3 debuff that says past shortages, right? You know, now when they're successful, they remember you left them out to dry for too long. There are later ways involving tech that you can try and get rid of that debuff, but you, by and large, don't want to leave things for too long. It's okay to hang things. Like the game will tell you get a stable loop at the beginning, right? But we hung things at the beginning here, and that's going to be fine if you can support it economically. You can lose the game if you go bankrupt, right? If you have no income and then you go bankrupt, there's no recovery because the game is driven on these credits, basically. You just lose. It says you went bankrupt and you lose. Okay, another important mechanic to consider now is the overall administration cost, right? For every 8 planets you take, you increase sort of the upkeep. Upkeep is technically a different number, but you increase the cost of owning the planets by 1. So when I take 2 more planets and I have 8, let's say I take 1 more, I have 7. Then when I go to take my 8th planet, everything effectively becomes minus 1, right? So our income right now is only 8. Okay, if I were to take 2 more planets and let's say, I don't know, attach them to this lab, as soon as I took the 8th planet, this would go to 0. So this is another sort of mechanic you have to micro around, right? Our next planets here absolutely must generate income somehow, the next 2 planets, because if not, we're going to be sunk. And in large part, this is because of the lab initially, right? In a harder difficulty level right now, we would already be sunk if we had done this. We are still generating income. It's October, so we're not going to bring an additional planet online unless we really can get a lot of money out of it. The best way to find those is to scan, so we're going to use some money here scanning, which will take us to the new year, and we'll end up with 8. Unless I see some super compelling reason, we could burn the water here. Technically, it would produce a pop that it's showing it wants to go in the lab here. We wouldn't put it there. We would actually put the pop into here, the water into here. That's for 1 planet, we get 2 economic outputs. That's the advantage. And then we're hanging a wheat here with no sort of idea where that wheat's going to come from. Can't see it up here. We have wheat available here, but remember, slipways can't cross each other. So we're playing in the dark about the wheat here. Okay, where else could we generate income easily? Well, not super easily with what we can see. We can't put anything in here. We can get things out of it, but we can't put anything in there to make it run, really, with what we have up here. So we're going to probably scan. The best move is probably to take this arrow and get the inputs outputs from it and then try and deal with the wheat. Economically, I mean, that's the best move. We're probably going to scan and see if we can come up with a better option. Okay, so November cost us 3. Found asteroids, which are not good for us. That was not a good scan for us. Asteroids are another mechanic that you'll have to learn about. Asteroids, they have value depending on the number of planets you own that are in range of them. You can hover over them to see where they are in terms of range. Lots of techs exist that modify the value of asteroids. They can be super important in heavy economic games. But you can see if I want to burn a month, I can for this asteroid. Because it's showing 3 planets attached, it's worth 18. We don't really want to burn a month. I'm just telling you what asteroids are. Okay, so down here, what would we be hoping for? We would be hoping for something that could use the goo and the water output that we have here, maybe. I don't know, we'll see. So December, we're going to roll over here in a minute. Yeah. Not great for us. Not great for us. Because the bot also can't reach from up here. So we're going to scan one more time in here. This is a very marginal scan. It's not a good scan. Maybe it's up here. We're probably going to end up using this arid, it seems like. And then scrambling. Okay, another bad scan for us. Oh, goodness, okay. Let's see. Can we... No. No, because we don't have a pop over here. We can't run the minerals, right? We can't run the minerals for bots or chips. So we're scrambling on this side. We have this bot dependency down here. We want to look at some way to resolve this. Nothing over here looks good. This pop dependency up here is then the one we're going to resolve. And then the situation looks pretty bad. You know, probably because of my bad play, not because of like RNG or whatever, but... So January, we did get our +8. We're still super low economy. We're still losing happiness. We are not making progress on the tasks. Things are not going well. Simuse knows that that's not unusual for me. So we're going to take the economic output from the water. Okay, we're at +10 now. We're going to add the pop into here for more economic output, +14. Now, remember, as soon as we take another planet, that's going to go down by 8. So that looked to me like the best economic move we could make, and it was, you know, not great. So now we are considering asteroids. We're trying to plan around them now a little bit because they can give us some boost to try and get us into a stable economy again. We're gonna check techs really quickly. Maybe. So since we're generating labs early, right? You know, we do have some tech options here that I maybe wouldn't have in most games. I wasn't careful about choosing advisors, so we don't really want any of these. We're probably going to take deep drilling if we have to, just for the income benefits. I wouldn't use wave augmentation, maybe. I don't really like it in general because, again, if you need the extra distance, you're paying for it. They do have a maximum distance, right? Slipways. So you can see here it goes out of range. Okay, it costs 20 to get here. Let's say we suddenly needed this giant range. It's like, yeah, we could get 30% more range. All of a sudden you're paying 38, probably 30, something like that. Would be the farthest it would get you, but you know, you pay for that extra range in terms of the tech, but also for the every time you draw a slipway. So okay, we're probably leaning deep drilling, maybe mineral seeding to let us use these ice balls and things, but I think it's only mineral planets though. Alright, that's fine. We're gonna take this. It's just a demo game. I'm not gonna try and micro. I usually take a lot longer also for all these moves. It already seems like a long time, but I ban this guy in chat. Hold on. Alright. Okay, so we haven't done super well down here. What can we do here? I'm just giving this Arctic another look to see if we can use the goo effectively at all. Okay, we get a bidirectional trade back. It will use a goo, it will generate a pop. The pop can go in there. So this is an okay next play. We really then want to have a follow-on because remember our income situation. So it wants to put a pop in the lab. We don't really want to let it do that. It's kind of a good long-term play, but we want to kind of find... We need this pop to make some money for us somehow. No dice here, no love there. I don't love it. This loses the bidirectional trade. It's in range of the bots, though. How are we getting bots out of here? We're not, is the answer. We don't have a pop up here. So we're scrambling over there. I'm going to scan up here to see if we can use this goo and bot for anything. It's our play now. This blocker is super annoying. Okay. Okay, we can probably make something happen up here, I think. Wait, we're hanging a wheat. We might hang this bot for a while. We may end up eating that debuff or marking this so we don't forget. When you can do planning with these pins, when you left click on a planet and pull up the list, you can right click on one of these options and it will keep it temporarily. An annoying feature of the game, people have heard me complain about this, is that if you left click anywhere else kind of just accidentally or to clear something else, you lose all your pins. You should absolutely be able to hotkey those, get them back, but I've complained about that enough. So Sorry, we actually want to see if we can get wheat out of you because you're the only one that can reach here. We actually have no other option to solve that wheat anywhere else in the game. So we can do it here. So we resolve the dependency, we create economic activity here and here by delivering the wheat, and we resolve the unhappiness. This may be the move I make. It's not a good move. It burns, it cuts off the goo in here, right? This guy is never going anywhere the rest of the game. Well, that's not true. Later in the game he can, but for a while we're burning this. But it's only under consideration now because we see no other way of resolving the wheat. Even if we could scan down here, we can see this is out of range. So we're not getting wheat here any other way. It is going to generate a little bit of economic activity. It's probably the best move. And then we have to play around this with these other planets up here. Because this wheat production here is like, you know, not getting us a lot. We won't have this available to us, right? This bidirectional trade. Because we will have created a slipway here. So this bidirectional trade is usually a good option for us and often is one of the things they want out of you. We also, by the way, also want pops up here. So maybe we do hang that. Let's see. We hang that. Solving it later is going to be really hard. We won't solve it in time. It will end up being a -3 permanently. This has a potential to be solved in time, at least. This does not, if we hang it. We really have to have a good reason to hang it. I may do it anyway. I make bad decisions all the time. So this is a much better play overall, right? It's much better for many reasons, right? The bidirectional trade here with our additional first planet helps us get through this little economy bump. We're going to see our capital's down pretty low. It's going to be... Here, let's just show you. Our capital's down to 19. We're only at +5 income. Slipways, remember, costs, so even connecting them here, it gets pretty dicey here. All of this is because of the lab. Yeah, just showing the undo mechanic a little bit further. We could also play this out, right? So let's say we did give him the wheat, right? It looks like this. Are we even going to be able to afford this? No, just barely here to drive +12. It's December. Okay, it's not like a terrible move, right? It's December. We could actually burn the month here, pop the asteroid, then connect it. It would be better if we could have connected it before the end of the year, but I just need a minute. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So we can play it out, right? We can game it out, and then we still have undos as long as we don't scan. So we can see we're going to end up at +20. We now have 8 planets of overhead before we have to worry about the administration costs. This may end up in the end generating more score with our current techs and abilities. But in the short term, it's harder economically, and I don't really know that I care about score this game. So we're probably going to undo that and take the other move, and then just hang this wheat the whole game. It seems like. So we're going to take this bidirectional trade instead. Okay. This planet, the mechanic here is this planet popped successful. When it gets 2 imports, you can see it's receiving 2 goo. What is it receiving? No, sorry, it's receiving 2 pops. Pop from here and a pop from here. And also it has 2 used exports. So when planet receives 2 imports and has 2 exports, it goes successful. Successful increases happiness a little bit. And successful drives other later mechanics that further drive score. Also, successful planets in terms of score are worth twice as much as established planets here, which I think are worth twice as much as struggling right here. I'm not even sure struggling is worth anything, actually. But I think it's like 80, 160, 320 for the next level, then 640 after that. And these might not be worth anything, actually. And obviously, they're hurting happiness, so they're overall hurting your overall score at the end, right? Because there's a base score that's calculated based on prosperity and some other things, and then the happiness is applied on top of it. So right now we're at 0.95 score. Okay, so we had this loop going on up here. What were we doing? Right. We wanted minerals here. Why again? Having trouble remembering why. I had a plan. It looked good in my brain. Oh yeah, wheat. Okay, right. This was the plan. Okay, so we've met his needs. We have the wheat here. We have the economic activity. Also, we have pops on the edge, and we have this quest to generate minerals. We also, I think, took up a car perk for that. So, also a tech. We took deep drilling. Yes. Minerals should be important to us this game. I've been ignoring it until right now. Get these sort of stacking technology paths that you want to go down. So can we use these minerals anywhere? Not that I can see right now. You want to be careful about the exports as well. So if we take this planet and we fund it with a pop, it now has 3 minerals because we're producing, we have this technology, we get an additional mineral for the output, right? The problem is that planets that don't have any outputs take a debuff. It's this, up here it says no export, -2%. So in addition to not actually getting any money for those trade goods because they're just sitting there, you're taking a happiness debuff from that as well, which is fine. It just means we may end up doing this anyway, but not. It's worth it to scan up here to see if we had any options right now, right? We have no plan for it. We have a pop here to feed it, but we could also go in this direction with our pop. The only arguments in favor of taking the mineral out in the void is because we have tasks, because we have tech, and because we have perks associated with those minerals. So right now this is super bad. We're hanging these guys down here indefinitely. Checking techs here. We don't have enough right now. It's May. We're going to end up scanning. Probably get a couple scans, and then we need to find a planet to burn the rest of the time in the year. We don't want to waste the time. Okay, we did find something that can actually use the minerals in here. So then we're looking for some sort of, so it's going to look like this, and then something here. It could be the goods. That's probably pretty good in terms of economy. Probably, maybe best in terms of economy. Also, we're going to satisfy this quest here. This is probably the move that we're going to end up making. We have, no, we'll probably make it now then. Probably make it now just to burn the time for the end of the year. So, okay, we'll do this. Goods are actually worth, it's going to be 2, 1, half dozen of the other. Goods and pops, delivering them is worth more than delivering any other type of good. Just for the record, it's just one more. I can't afford this connection right now. That's how bad our economy is in September. So we are going to look for an asteroid to burn. It's going to be this one, plus 30. Has, what, 5 connections? There are techs that increase the value of asteroids. Maybe I already said that, but they become super important in harder difficulty levels, at least in my view. We're going to burn this asteroid. It's going to cost us a month. We're going to take this planet. It's October, 3 months left. We want to burn the time on a planet. Remember, it takes 3 months for a planet. So we didn't get any economic input from these by the end of the year. We're only at plus 21 still. So not great, but couldn't really be helped. So we got the task complete there because his whole thing was he wanted us to generate 2 goods. We have a planet capable of doing that right now. The year rolled over as well, so we can see that we have a tech warning down here telling us that we have new tech options. We thought about this wave augmentation. No, we're probably gonna take mineral seeding here because we have mineral related quests and things, and techs and perks and stuff. I think most of the time here I would actually take the cheapest possible tech because I don't really want any of these. None of these are part of my like major game plan right now, so I would probably just pick the cheapest one in order to get into tier 2. Techs come in tiers. Tiers get unlocked by what you've discovered previously. As soon as we take a second tech, we'll be locked out of tier 0. So mineral seeding has a chance to help us. We'll probably take it, and then we won't actually be able to go back, and that's fine for us. So we'll do that. We'll bring the goods in here. So our income is back up to 43. We're doing all right in terms of headroom with our empire size for the next debuff, which again is going to reduce us by 16. We can see that we did get another successful planet here. We have pop outputs on the edge. We have goods on the edge, which isn't usually useful. Goods on the edge. The only planets that want goods are planets that are successful. So it's not helping us sort of meet an immediate need anywhere. It's just kind of sit here until we need goods later. It's usually pop producing planets that are successful that need goods. Something to keep in mind. Okay, so we still have this task. Probably should be prioritizing his task at this point. And we are also looking for another lab opportunity at this point because our labs are super low. And of course the trade-off is income, right? We finally have a decent-ish income and we're about to go and ruin that now, so. We could check this ruins here. Ruins are a sort of like an RNG type thing. You have to have an available pop in a city. Draw the slipway to the ruins, okay? Sometimes the ruins then will give you an option. Okay, the option is sometimes involves using the pop. More often, it doesn't, and you keep the pop. But you have paid for the cost to check the ruins, which in this case is 16, right? And also you've cut off your flexibility because you've drawn this slipway to kind of nowhere, really. They can have good rewards in them. In our case, we probably want to wait until later because sometimes they can give you tech that you want, and you need to be in that tech tier before you can get it. Like right now, it can only give us tier 1 and tier 2 techs, and we don't really care about those. We want a tier 3 tech that we're never going to get out of it, but that's the gamble. They can also be, if you're really on the edge economically, you have enough money to connect a pop to there, sometimes they can give you credits that make it worth it. More often they end up like breaking even. Like I don't know what the RNG is like in there, but that's what they do. Ruins are the third thing in the game that locks you in. So checking tasks locks you in, scanning locks you in, and checking ruins locks you in. So we can still undo a whole bunch of moves right now. All right, though, we're looking to see if we can create more minerals out here and then also use them. It looks good for us from that perspective here, I think. In May, will we take another scan? Let's see. And does it look good up here? This is out of range. No, it's in range. Okay. So we can do the whole... But now we're not using the minerals. We can do the whole people make goo. This is a sort of standardish loop, right? 2 primordials and an earth-like is always sort of self-sustaining, right? People make goo. Goo makes wheat. Wheat makes people. And you have an extra pop to deal with. You're going to have extras of some of these things here. We can also feed the additional goo for economic output down here. It's not bad. It gives us a pop on the edge. We can use it in this mineral to generate a bot or something in here. This is probably the move we would make. I think we will. We're also looking for a lab. Maybe a mineral lab out here or somewhere. I don't know. We'll see. So we'll take this bidirectional income first. Plus 52 is pretty good for us right now. We'll take this one because it's going to be shorter. In September, we'll be able to connect it by the end of the year. Okay, plus 54. We're getting closer up on this administration cost thing, which is going to give us a 16 hit, right? Because empire cost is going to go from -1 per planet to -2. You really start, as you start expanding, you start really running up against that. Yeah, we're going to do this here, I think, too. I don't see a reason not to. What did I do? Okay, right, no, that's what we wanted. I don't know why I wasn't seeing it. Okay, so we're considering now a mineral lab. We have minerals on the edge here. We have minerals that we can fund here. So we're thinking about how we could get a pop here. The answer is not very easily right now, but we may do it anyway, just for the labs. Kind of like we did down here. We made sacrifices down here. We're gonna pay for those for the rest of the game. This one's at -6. We can technically resolve this one. We may. Because we can delay it, right? You can do this thing where you start chaining out these debuffs, right? So we can... This is going to be at -7, like next year, if we want. We could take this planet, eat this debuff by providing it a pop, and then we're starting our timer on this planet. It's not really, you know, efficient to do it that way, but it may give us better scans down here and offer an opportunity to resolve this dependency as well. And we may do that. And then we're just stuck with this one. So let's see. Minerals out of here. We're planning a mineral lab here. We can't afford the cost to even plan it. Okay, so let's see. So here's like a typical trade-off the game will make you make. We're looking for asteroids to pop because we can't afford to even like plan the lab, and we want to do some work here still. But it's June, so we want a way to spend the small amount of money we have that's time efficient as well. So we think we're gonna want this planet. If we commit to the lab, we will want the planet. The planet can be funded. It takes 3 months to take a planet, so now's a good time to do it, right? We have enough money, we can afford it. Seems like we're gonna be committed here. We could take the time here and like scan around a bunch and stuff. If we scan too many times, we won't be able to afford taking the planet, and then we're gonna be not very super time efficient, really. And it's not clear to me what value I'm gonna get from the scans. It would only be here just something to dissuade me from putting a mineral lab here, and really nothing's gonna dissuade me. So, I mean, I'll hang this pop the rest of the game. I don't care. So yeah, we're gonna take this now. We're gonna fund it. Look at the completion. Okay. Before we do anything else, keeping in mind that as soon as we check the tasks, we're locked in. So let me just show you one thing really quickly here. That's not a good example. Let me show you down here. Here we're at the edge. You can undo this, right? So if I take this planet, I can see what the signals are around it. So sometimes it's worth taking a planet to kind of see, like, are there even any planets out here? Yeah, there probably are. Like, probably a planet. Like, this almost certainly is a planet, almost certainly is a planet. Okay. Okay. And then there's some medium strength signals, so you know. You can take it and then undo it. But if you scan, actually, then you can't. But I was gonna say we took this and then we would want to, did we get any intel? Not really. So I'm okay with locking in the tasks here. Nothing's gonna dissuade us, like I said. So we'll check these tasks, and we'll do it before, in case when we draw any connections, we actually complete any of these, or start any of these tasks that they're giving us. So Forge World to successful, can we get him chips? No. Not in the immediate future. Okay, this is gonna happen for us because we're making a mineral lab. Goods, though, is also kind of not great for us. Forge World to successful versus 4 more goods. I think we're gonna take Forge World to successful. Faster to get that one. So you can see they give us rewards here now. The first one just kind of quote-unquote unlocks events. That would mean like in the ruins here. We don't really care about that. We're gonna hit accept. Okay, so we'll fund this. We're still in October. So in October, I probably actually do want to pop this asteroid. See, another thing is that by taking this planet, we actually increase the value of this asteroid. So now we're in November. So with 2 months to spare, thinking I want this actually down here, I probably am just going to spend the time here. Pretty big economy issue. Actually, I'm not. I'm not going to spend the time here. The reason is that we're at 15 out of 16 empire size. So if I take this planet, it's going to be actually minus 16 plus minus 2 for the end of the year rollover. So why don't we just, since we're not actually going to gain anything from it right now except the 2 months, why don't we find some other way to spend 2 months and keep that 18 credits? So that's what we're going to do. We're either going to scan or find really good asteroids to pop. There really aren't any good asteroids. Could pop this one and then do 1 scan in this area where we're expanding. That seems maybe like the play. Let's do the scan first then. Okay, we have ways of funding this pop now, actually quite easily. So that was a good scan for us. No, we don't. We cut off. Okay, we won't get the wheat. We can fund it with the. We can fund the lab with the pop, and we can fund this with the pop. But the wheat's going to be cut off by the top mineral that's going to come into our lab. That's going to look like it's in somewhere in here right now. I'll show you in a second, but yeah, it's alright. It's still a good scan for us. We're going to take this asteroid again in December just to burn the month and gain some income. This asteroid doesn't look like it's going to increase in value to me, very likely anyway. Okay, so we're in January, we got our extra income. Now we're going to take a huge economic hit when we bring this online. We're going to do that anyway. Now we can plan our lab because we have some money. It will let us plan. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is I'm trying to actually see if I can burn the pop over here as well. Since he's just hanging out, he's not actually generating any income for us. So we are trying to get the mineral on the top, this mineral up here, and the pop on the side. It's not going to happen, it looks like. Do we have it now? Yeah, we do have it here. So this is the lab placement. We're not going to be able to afford all these connections right now, but that's where it's going to go. One thing before I go on too far about this extra pop. Another happiness mechanic is that pops that exist but are not being put to work generate unhappiness in the form of unemployment. So you can see here, unemployment minus 2%, second row down. So if you have no plans for them at the end of the game, when you start trying to actually generate score, right now we're in kind of like a growth phase, right? The game becomes like way more fun for me anyway, and interesting like toward the end. But you really want to start paying attention, because unemployment is every one of these you have is a minus 1% score, because minus 1% happiness. So anyway, we're going to put him in here because I don't have another use for him right now, so that's a good use. We could have expanded this way with him, but I think the labs are important. That's why we're doing the whole lab thing right now. Anyway, we are stranding this planet in here. We're stranding the wheat. Okay. Making some decisions here that are going to have downstream effects just to get more labs online as soon as possible. As soon as economically viable, basically. We're not doing great. I don't feel great about this game, as we discussed. Sort of the opening wasn't great for me. I made some mistakes, probably. With 18 years left, we're only generating 10 science. It's light on science. We're still looking for more lab opportunities now, even though our economy is also kind of on the edge. So we could get another pop in here, another pop in here, and another pop in here. We do want one in here for sure. We're taking this for that. What we do with this next pop is a little bit up in the air. It's going to be determined by scans. We need a wheat here, so if we're going to drive it with something that involves a pop that drives goo into here, which we don't really see right now, but it's possible. So we don't want to burn this guy right now yet. This whole situation, okay, -8, we forgot. I forgot to push this out, so that's it. We're eating that debuff the rest of the game. I mean, not the -8, but a -3. Can't be undone now for us. So, this is the gist of the game. This is how it goes. I don't know how, if you're still watching, new viewer, gamer who hasn't played this game before. But you can kind of see how the game's progressing, right? As you get into the late game, as I said before, lots of other fun things start happening, right? Like the micromanagement and the connections and opportunities to connect things, because you end up getting techs that can cross slipways, and they cost money, and it's this huge balancing act between tech and strategy and planning. And of course, like, I've been going fast here and not really taking my time, because I'm doing more talking and explaining than I usually do, and less sort of like thinking to myself about my moves. But you can see what the upgrade paths here are going to be. You can see what the potential nearby resources are going to be. You can think about what the techs in the future are going to be. How are you going to get the tech with the income? How are you going to get the technology that you need to go through these slipways in the right ways to get what you need where, and so on. These cities all have talking about score and end game, right? Like, what you're doing at the end of the game is trying to like come up with really satisfying moves, right? That take a city from successful to prosperous, or more likely even more satisfying, from 2 levels above this, right? From successful to prosperous, and from prosperous to legendary, by satisfying increasingly sort of like stringent needs and difficult to meet needs for these cities. Because again, the cities, the level that they are at is what's driving your base score, along with tasks and other things. We can show you if I get to the end of the score screen, but it ends up being like very frustrating and like nail biting in the middle, and then like very satisfying when things start coming together at the end, right? To me, that's like the fun part of the game. Also, it's like fun because you get RNG to death sometime, not to death, but like, oh, it's just a little bit too far. Oh, I didn't get what I needed out of this runes or whatever. I don't know. To me, it's like an extremely fun game. Okay, so we have this wheat dependency here. We don't really have great options for solving this now. So talking about later game techs, hyperdrive is a type of tech that you can get. We don't have it in our advisors right now. That lets you jump relays. We won't get that, or that lets you jump slipways, I should say. We would have to resolve this with a late game tech that involves getting relays first, and then a follow-on tech for relays. Some techs, if you click on them, that's a bad example. What's a good one? Okay, this is a good one. Deep drilling, which we took before, is a cheap tech. Oh, I don't know why it's happening now. It's not going to show us. This is actually an upgrade from deep drilling, but some techs have upgrade paths, and you can see them by clicking on, yeah, here, precise anchoring. If you click on on the tech and the tech tree, you can see that it has an upgrade down the road. And this is an upgrade from our deep drilling, I think, here. Or no, from mineral seeding. That's why I didn't see it. It's an upgrade from mineral seeding. So anyway, so we could solve this wheat problem. What I'm saying is we could solve this wheat problem with a tech that our advisors don't have, but this relay tech is a tech that everyone has. You have to get to 39 science. You can see where we are. It's going to be a couple years away. We also have to unlock two techs before we get there. Then we can get relays, but relays don't fix this because a relay just lets you kind of extend two slipways together by putting a vertex in the middle that allows you to attach them. But then it upgrades into something called infraspace that then, anyway. Then let's solve this. What I'm saying is that I'm not seeing a super great combination of fixes here. In some scenarios, it's tempting to say, okay, well, I'll fix this with an infra later or with a hyper later and so on. So we have actually wheat here, so we could start playing around this. The issue here is that we don't actually see a way to provide goo. So we're going to end up scanning probably down here. Here's kind of like a wasteland in terms of fixing this. So we'll see if we can scan out here and come up with an easy solution here. And if not, then we're looking for a tech-based solution in the late game. So we'll do that, I guess. We still don't want to use this pop yet. I mean, the pop is very useful in the lab, very useful over here too for income. But if he is necessary to clean this up, then we'll use him. We're saving him for that. So that's the thinking there. Okay, so same problem here. We've like pushed the problem out a little bit. Actually, is it? Oh, we came close to solving this. We came close to solving this because we have minerals here for bots, but this desert's in the way, blocking us. Again, there are techs that are kind of expensive to get and use that let you... let me just look at what we have here, actually. Wait, hold on a second. What do we have? Don't we have mineral seeding? What if we... well, that doesn't help us. That's the bots on the way back that we can't do. Let me think. So if we put pops into goo into here, we have a bot dependency, we're getting the wheat back. This all works here. How are we getting bots is the question. Well, we can produce bots here. We have the minerals to produce them. We can't get the bots here because the stupid desert's blocking us. We can get bots here, but we have no way of funding the bots here. Can we mineralize this? Okay, actually, that's what we're going to do. So we can't ordinarily use lavas. We did actually select mineral seeding as a tech, though, thinking that we have Bakar who wants us to generate minerals and so on and so forth. That gives us the option to pay money and time in order to convert this planet. So it's going to look like this. It's going to be bots from here. Okay. This is going to, we can't mark it, but it's going to produce, it's going to turn into this planet down here, basically. So we're using a pop here in the primordial, right, to get our wheat back. We create the bot dependency here. We can solve the bot dependency here. We create a mineral dependency here. This is a mineral planet. It's going to want to pop. But we also know that this upgrades. Once we get it the wheat and we use its pop, it will have the imports it needs to upgrade. Is that right? Yeah, I think it will actually give us the second pop. We can test it as long as we don't scan. So here's what we're going to do. I'm probably doing this in the wrong order, but we're going to... Again, I'm not super hyper microing right now. We're just showing how it works here. We did... what happened here? Right, we didn't deliver the wheat yet. That's right. I was like, where's my pop? Okay. There's my pop once we delivered the wheat that he wanted from down here. The minerals go in here. This pop funds that. And then that completes the loop here with our economy in pretty good shape. We're approaching the cliff here, though. Okay, so then we can see that it was the right decision then to hang on to this pop. We needed him. We could have just dumped him here, right? Or here for economic activity, but it was probably better overall to resolve this. Did we already build a goo lab? We did. Mineral lab. So another thing to know about labs is that when you build a second lab that researches the same thing, so we have a goo lab and we have a mineral lab, right? You take a -2 hit to the lab's output, to the research output, if it's researching something you already have. So now I'm looking for trying to drive yet more science, and I'm thinking, okay, well, it needs to be water, chips, or what? I forget. Water, chips, or bots, right? Bots. We have bot production. Lots of bot production on the map. Not 3 that I can see very easily. We have a tech that we can take here. Okay, the upgrade for our terraforming drone tech that we took, for our mineral seeding tech that we took. Integrated manufacturing is pretty good. Again, I'm not going to spend a super long time figuring out what I want to do here because it's not really why I'm playing right now for high score. Dimensional anchoring. We're going to take dimensional anchoring, which I wouldn't really take in a reasonable mode game usually, but we are running a light economy here. Reduces the cost of slipways. And as I mentioned before, you know, economy is much harder in higher difficulties, and so I think it's very valuable there. Here, it's kind of like I'm playing sloppy, so it's gonna buy us some headroom, maybe. Okay. So we're looking for a lab. It needs to be a bot lab, a water lab, or a chip lab. Maybe. Okay, the benefit to a chip lab down here as opposed to bots is that we have a chip need here. We can actually generate some income from it. A very small amount of income and not much else. Downside is that we lose our ability to provide goods here, which we could also do right now and just generate income. So this is a good economic move right here. Goods are, as I say, are valuable. We're burning minerals, which we are also getting a buff for from deep drilling. We get 30% more when we deliver minerals. We actually need to deliver some minerals. I don't know. We're not going to get any more minerals by doing this toward this task, but it may be worth doing it economically for us right now. It blows our shot at the chip lab. Not sure it's much of a shot though, really. I might do it. I think I am going to do it because there's no goods down here either. Our nearest goods are up here. We'll want goods down here, I think. Maybe not. Here? It's maybe too far. We'll maybe infrared over there later. I don't know. I'm going to do it. Maybe not the best move, but I did it. We generated a pop unemployment here. Not great. Not a great move, probably. We have pops on the edge. We could try and get him out there. We could end up using him for something else later. It's not the end of the world to hang on to pops in the mid-game, but as I say, you want to burn them by the end of the game, somehow. So it looks like it's going to be some sort of scanning to figure out where our next lab is going to go, and if we can generate any income here, quickly and easily. I guess we'll look out here. It's a marginal scan here. It's going to make me choose, isn't it? Don't make me choose. Okay, I don't like that scan. Let's take this one instead. Okay, at least we got a second planet. Okay. We have wheat on the edge, bots on the edge, minerals on the edge. None of that helps us here. The wheat's too far from here. Okay, we can't even run pops out of there to push in that direction. It's kind of like an empty void here that I'm not liking the look of. Similar issue here. Let's see. Okay, can we get a really bad... Start planning for a really bad bot lab here? You know, bad because... It's bad because we only have 2 bot inputs for it, right? The first good, remember, gives you only 1 if you have a pop. You have to have a pop in the first item that kind of sets the lab up. That gets 1. The second bot input would give it +2, and every other after that +2. So this is going to be a 3 research lab based on bots right here if we plan for it here. It also has, we have no funding. We have no funding for the pop, right? No plan for the pop right here. So it's a really a bad gamble. We certainly wouldn't place the lab right now, but that may be what we're fishing for out here. Okay, we did find a pop. The wheat's cut off, so we're gonna end up hanging the wheat. So, you know, not a great plan right here. Maybe we just push in this direction with the wheat, and now we're looking for water here somehow, sustainable water. This is kind of a this whole side is looking super sketchy for us right now. So we're gonna get another scan here. We're gonna end up taking a bad scan here and a really bad scan here. It seems like. Okay, not great for us. Kind of like wants us to consider more bots that we can't really pay for. So we can deliver bots here for economic output, but then we cut off any potential bot lab situation over here. So isn't what we would probably do. It did open up, if we find water here or here, it does open up the possibility of sending, don't ignore the lines that it's drawing for us automatically, but it would be like a bot lab This is bots, right? Sorry. This is bots. This is bots. This is our pop that's funding the lab. We have wheat for him. We need water. So it'd be like the same sort of like bad bot lab right here, right? Where it's like a 3. Now we can start cheating. You know, we can cheat. We wouldn't want to cheat that way. So we would cheat this way, maybe hope that this is more bots and also that there's a water down here. It's possible. We could do it. If we were gonna do it, we would do this first, I think. We would actually take this planet now. Take the intel we get from like seeing out here. It doesn't look great. It does not look great. In fact, what is going on over here with this whole side? I don't know. Yeah. So it's like we're gonna put a bot lab into the void here, it seems like. Seems like we're gonna maybe do it. I don't see why not. Playing sloppy already. We may as well do it. We may as well get some science here. In that case, we're gonna undo this. And then for like economy reasons, we're gonna actually connect this first. Get the buff bonus from our perk. Have the bots have the connection by the end of the year and so on. This is gonna be more valuable. We're gonna want it anyway. It's gonna produce more input, more income. We also want to be cognizant of this asteroid. We don't want to take it even if we need it out of the way until we have the remnant because it's connected in terms of value. So we can set this up here. We can plan for this. So we're not committed yet, right? All we've done is generate economic activity over here and have bots. We're committed when we take this and then we scan over here to see exactly how screwed we are. So, hey, why not commit ourselves? We'll get the lab in no matter what. That way, it's not undoable. Take the remnant we already have. So this is the most the asteroid's going to be worth. We'll get it out of the way. Okay, the pop has to go in here first because if we can't, the lab is worthless without the pop, right? It doesn't generate any. So if we can't actually fund this properly with water, for example, to get the second pop, then we don't want to connect it here first. So we just end up hanging potentially 2 things out here. Water solves the dependency here. It gives us a pop to solve this dependency here. So that's what we need is out here is some way to get water now. Let's check tech really quickly. Okay, no. I need to take another one to advance for relays. It's probably Trade League is probably what I should take. Probably won't. Probably gonna take terraforming. Sure. Okay. Do you like how I'm subtly like blaming all my failures in this game on like on you? Okay. All right, so this worked out really well for us. The reason is that we're actually producing bots on this planet. It's providing water. Bots are going into the lab, so we got actually pretty lucky here. So the game doesn't hate us today. We'll deliver here. This is going to end up being a bidirectional trade. It's going to... no. Sorry, just kidding. This is where we need this. Now we need this. And this gets us the bidirectional trade. We give it water, and it gave us bots. Okay, so... this terrible bot lab is paid for, and actually, okay, if it had been slightly better placed, or if I had, if I had not locked myself in with it, if I had taken this and then scanned, it could have been placed over here, and we would have had more bots into it from this forge, and that would have been a much, much, much better outcome. Actually, wait, are you telling me it still reaches? It reaches. Oh god, how are we going to get it? Minerals. Are we going to do it in the... are we going to do it right now? We're going to do it. Plus 13 at 13 years? We're gonna do it. It's a bad move. Don't ever do this. It's a bad move. We are just unfundedly giving him more bots to study. None of these planets can produce minerals down here. We do have some flexibility though with this mineral seeding. Like if we find desert, lava, whatever, ice balls, if we find some really marginal planets down there, we can get him a mineral. That's maybe what we're hoping for, like here. Now, it's these gambles, right? It's like, it's crazy. Okay. I feel like some people who play the game probably gamble less than I do with it. Oh, is it close? Oh, it's cut off. It's cut off. Okay, so planets have these like radiuses, right? Around them. Radii. They have these radii around them. These auras. And so this is clipping, even though it looks visually like it's going to work, right? You can see that there's this buffer area around the planet, so this is obstructed, which means I can't actually deliver minerals there, even if I could get pops here, which I probably could, because this also wants minerals for pops and so on, so that's unfortunate for us. It looks like anything over here that could possibly help us is going to be blocked by this arid in the same way. Maybe the best option is here, And then if not, we're hanging this mineral for quite a while, it looks like. Just making sure that my mineralized thing doesn't actually apply to any of these, which it doesn't. Sometimes it gives you weird options. I'm still not used to all the text. This was a bad scan. I don't know why I did it. I knew that both of these were going to get blocked, and now I'm angry also because this ice ball is mineralizable. So that was a scan. It was a misplay. And of course, I can't undo it because it was a scan. Really, what we wanted to scan here, where our only hope of solving this was. We're going to do that too, I guess. Let's check the text first, just in case. Okay, plasma. Okay. We're gonna use plasma. Plasma is a bad move. We're going to use it anyway, because again, if you're still watching, I think you are, based on the last text, but maybe you stopped. But plasma is a tech that lets you generate an energy. Energy is a mechanic we haven't talked about yet, so we'll look at energy really quickly. So we got a tech that lets us build this thing called the fusion lab. There are other energy-based techs and structures and things in the game. We're also going to build a structure here, which for the first time... Oh, no, we built labs. Labs are structures. But the fusion plant takes water as an input and provides energy as an output. Unlike most planets, you can see that when I place the item here, it has a lock on the energy. And that's because it actually will not provide the energy just by placing it. It has to be funded before it will provide the energy. Most planets, when you take them, I can still use these pops and hang resources off of it, right? Like we have been most of the game. This structure and other energy options all must be funded first. But it takes water and it produces energy here. As you can see, it's bouncing there. It's bouncing because it's asking me where it wants me to send it. Energy, unlike every other resource in the game, is unlike every other resource in the game. It can take the place of any need, basically, that a planet has. And then there are some other mechanics associated with it, involving like energy technologies. So there's a tech that if you are providing energy to a planet for a need, it will produce 2 of its outputs instead of just 1. So energy can be pretty powerful. In this case, it's solving this mineral need that I can see. Well, I should have scanned first. I should have completed the scan here first. Okay, wait, hold on. We're going to just back up for a second. We haven't committed anything yet. We are going to scan. Did we commit to plasma still? Okay, let's undo that too. Scan here first. If there's a mineral planet here, okay, that's fine. So we are going to take plasma. We're going to build a plasma containment structure. I just want to see, is there a better place to build this? Anywhere it has a chance of getting a chip? No. No. Okay. So we're going to build it here then. Are we going to build it? Yeah, we're going to build it here. Again, I'm just playing sloppy. So we gave it the water. Now it's producing the energy. We can connect it here. Still bouncing energy. We're going to drag the energy over here. It will let us take it here or here. We get to choose. We're taking it here, and it took the need. It took the place of the need for the minerals here. So we did resolve this dependency for the additional labs. Basically, we had to pay. This was an expensive fix. Okay, we had to pay 2 months plus 35. Okay. Also, we had to pick plasma containment, which I will make an argument, to players is not a good technology to pick the vast majority of the time, even though I use it as a crutch sometimes. Because it's so expensive in terms of time and money. And we can't even, it can actually produce 1 more energy if we could provide it a chip, but we can't. So that was a fix. It's an expensive fix. It's an expensive additional to science here that we brought online. Science is still not good after all of this finagling around. We only have 15 at 12 years to go, which isn't going to drive us into the late game. So not a good game here for me. Well. Okay, so we have these arids down here. We have bots on the edge. We could do something here with bots. Probably not that. Probably more like this. No, maybe not. I don't know. Here nothing, here nothing. We're sitting on this Bakar quest and this Silithid quest for a long, long time. We haven't been pursuing those. Can we? Let's look at the Forge World quest. No, we can't get you chips. Who else has a shot? No one. We can't get you chips either. We need chips everywhere. Have I been using... I guess I've been using remnants for bots this whole game. Okay. Let's say we did... Let's say we did this for economic activity reasons, right? It has all the outputs, but then it's also going to want chips. We're looking at how to get a forge world to successful, basically. This guy has the most chance of having chips. We'd have to find them up here, though. It's a good economic play, right? It can deliver goods here, it can deliver goods here, it can bring in minerals from 2 places. It's not a bad play. It's probably better than anything I was looking at down here. But can we get any of these forges? No, not what we can see. So we're gonna scan up here, it looks like. Okay, I guess we could think about plasma too for a forge, just to complete the quest. We could think about plasma for the forge. That's pretty bad. We're already using one here. What did I do here? This was a mistake. I just scanned too. Oh my god. This is producing a bot. I should have placed the plasma closer in here. I would have taken the output of this bot, brought it back in over here. Would you have given me another water? He would have. Wow. That's a pretty bad misplay. Misplaced this plasma. Could have then added a fusion lab on the outside here for a second different energy. Energy doesn't stack back and forth. Like, you can't send 2 of the same resource to the same planet on the same, or even on a different slipway. Between 2 planets, they can only trade the same resource once, basically. Same is true for structures. But if I had brought a second fusion lab online with the water that this bot could have turned into, this bot would have been into here for water, water out, plasma here, fed a second energy into here for this missing chip, then this would be successful and it would satisfy the Silithid quest. Instead, we're up here where I scanned and ruined several things. Number 1, there's no option for chips up there. And number 2, I locked in my bad plasma placement. Do we have relays yet? No tech. Why did I take plasma containment instead of relays? I'm so bad. I'm so bad. Okay. Alright. It's okay. This is still a good move. It's just not driving us toward the Silithid quest at all. Maybe we take it and look around up here. Alternatives involve pushing this all the way back into the late game and then just sort of giving up on another round of tasks, which it seems like is what's going to happen to us here. We'll see. Okay, we'll deliver goods there, deliver goods there. We will take some minerals here. Haven't created any additional need for minerals, which is why we're still at only 7 out of 8. We've created all these additional pops because of these successes on these pop planets. So that's unemployment we're going to have to deal with later. Here's an easy choice, right? Additional labs here and a way to burn this pop. Easy choice there. He was producing pops the whole time, remember? We just got an additional pop from the successful. Here's a little bit harder. We really want chips up here somehow. We're going to scan. Ugh. Could it even be? Nothing. We're not going to scan here. Are we going to scan for this? Are we going to waste 3? Our economy's fine now. Economy's fine, which means I've been under-teching. Bots. What do we need? Water lab? Bots, goo, minerals. We need a mineral or a water or a chip lab. Oh no. No luck there. This gonna have to be relay fixes over here. We have some water. A relay gets us more water. We don't have relays yet. Next year, May. Maybe we start planning for some sort of crazy... What are you doing? Don't do that. Not where that water is going. Ignore the man who thinks he's putting... Okay, we don't want the bidirectional water there, so we'd have to plan for that too. Like, he's going to try and suck up the water for the pop. We want the water. We want the pop to come in, not the water to go back to him. So you have to be careful about the order in which you do things. Like, for example, this isn't where the lab's going to go, but if we just buy this planet and do this, he sucked up the pop, he sucked up the water, but we had plans for that water in the form of a water lab, right? So we would have to connect it here first. It's asking us what you want to study. We want to study this. Then we bring the pop in, and he just never gets his second water, which is fine. That's not where the lab's going to go, but It's something you have to worry about. It's kind of the order of operations. But let's say we go for a bad water lab down here somehow. Somehow we get a relay here. Relay bot back into here. Gets us a water out of here, water out of here, water out of here. We're hanging a bot. We're not hanging this pop. Can we get water out of here? Yeah. So 4 waters. 4 waters into a lab that ends up being somewhere like, I don't know, here-ish? Maybe? Oh no, we actually need the bottom one. It's probably cheating this way. This asteroid's screwing with our placement planning possibilities, but maybe something like this works. Probably right where that asteroid is works. Actually, this is what has to happen. So if this is the case, we're going to end up hanging a bot here. We have bots in the area, but they're going to be cut off, number 1, and number 2, this one's going to be used here. We have one out here that we could infer into him later. Infer is just a tech that allows us to cross these relay streams for paying quite a bit of money for the privilege. So then what we're hanging down here is a pop here. We should get pops out of here. They'll use water and wheat. Now we're looking for wheat. We have wheat goo bots. This is going to work. So this is going to be the water lab. All this is going to end up working. It's going to be expensive. It's too late in the game to be bringing this low amount of tech online. But it is what we're going to do. So the question now is when we're going to do certain things. It looks to me, since this has to be connected after, like last, we're not going to get much out of the lab this year. Where's our pop for this lab coming from? Wait a second. Here? No. Here? Does it reach? No. No, so, okay, so the lab placement is actually going to be hard. It works here. Is the asteroid blocking? We can't really tell. How far this way can we go and still keep... This is as far as we're going to go. This... Okay, I don't care about the mineral. Okay, here? It's here. I think that should be in range of the Earth-like. We'll check. We'll check by burning this. Okay, that connection is there. Go back. So it's going to be like right here. Okay, in that case, it is going to work. We are going to have a pop for that as well. A pop for this. We aren't double using the pops here. This is going to be fine. So we're going to go this way. We're going to fund this here and this here by the end of the year. We're going to use that output here as well. Here's a pop. We want to make sure we get the lab now because we're going to actually be able to get some decent amount of tech out of it here. Okay, we also need relays for this whole plan to work. Let's not forget that. So relay is a new type of structure based on a tech that we got. Relays are expensive to use. It's costing us a month to place it here because we don't have certain perks and techs and things, but a month to place it, 20 to place it, and then let's not forget, since it's a relay, and it also requires 2 slipway connections, so 2 months. Even though they're cheap, 2 months. What did I just do? Why did I not get a water out of you? I don't have a bot to deliver from here. Wow. Wait just a second. The whole plan is for shit. I don't have the spot. Oh no. Alright, the plan is fine. The plan is fine. I don't let simple things like mistakes dissuade me from my plans, guys. Don't worry. Plan is fine. Nothing was ever wrong with the plan, alright? Alright. Okay, we have a pop into water in there before the end of the year. We're gonna get another one. Oh, we're not. I did things out of order. Whatever. It's gonna be fine. Everything's fine. Okay. What was my plan for this spot? Didn't have a plan for him, I think. Okay, so when we get chips ever, we'll never get chips. Chips are a pipe dream for us. Chips are never happening. We have water around here. Really? Did we use all the water? I will totally give him a chip for water. Is there a better way here? I'm looking for a plasma fix to get a chip to get the additional water for the lab. And I'm not seeing one. That's alright. That's right, we have our water lab, our economy's fine. Because we're not in the hard modes. And we're still playing poorly, but what can you do? 9 years left? Okay, I guess we're going to try and resolve this dependency now. We're looking for bots down here. We have bots. We'd have to infer it out. We could infer it out. We can't get a chips in here. Infra is pretty far away still. Only 21 science per turn, at least 3 years for infra space mastery. What is it, plus 42? No, it's longer. It's 3 years. Is that right? Can that be right? No. 42 and 17? No, no, no. Yeah, it's 2 years. No, it's not. It's 3. It's just barely 3, isn't it? Why can't I do math right now? Yeah, we're gonna be 2 short, or 3 short. We're gonna be 3 short. So it's 3 years. That's bad. It'd be more if we had our fewer years of more science, if we actually could connect the water, if I had planned correctly. Can we eke out any more science here? Is there any pop we can send into, no. No. Okay, whatever, it's a pipe dream. Alright, we're looking for bots down here. Still rushing here. Still rushing to try and get to, okay, we found bots. Bots is good for us. Minerals is good for us too, helps us complete the quest. How are we gonna get the minerals is the problem, right? We need a pop to run this minerals here. We can maybe start trying to bootstrap it here because this also requires minerals, but then where's the wheat coming from? Now we're looking for wheat. We're doing this. We're off to the races out here now. We also have plasma here. Is plasma better? I was gonna say plasma's probably better. Is it? Plasma's probably just a better fix for the bot. As opposed to this nonsense out here, we should maybe just plasma out the bot. Should we? Let's see. No, we need more minerals for the quest. Maybe we'll do it. Can we? He wants ships too. I'm not building ships anywhere. It's just these constant... Okay, this is not good play for me. We also don't have a chip lab yet either. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just push on. Push on. Give him his bot. I don't know, we'll give him a pop, seems like. Totally lost the plasma option here. Could try and use your goo. Can't do that. How are we getting wheat to this? I mean, like we lost the plasma effects. Let me take all this back. Because like when we're off to the races out here, which we knew, so why did I start this? Because of the quest I convinced myself, I think. We can't make this guy go. We can with plasma. Okay, maybe that's what we're gonna do. We're off to the races out here, and we're gonna plasma out the quest completion, basically, it seems like. So here's our... Just kidding, asteroid. We'll take the asteroid. Okay. Here's our second quest completion. Just kidding, need to use the bot. Okay, totally forgot that. Nope. Don't want to do it there then. I don't want to do it here, I don't think. It's not going to be worth it. It's not my best game in the world, but it also doesn't have to be like my worst game in the world. So instead, we are going to plasma this off so we don't have to worry about it. Okay, and then we were leaning in this direction because we wanted the mineral output, but we have a pop here who can get minerals. And then we're trying to find someone to use them. We need goods in the area. We'll scan down here and see if we can find a forge to give us either minerals or chips, both of which would be needed in the area. Chips for the later. Okay, that's... How am I completing this, either of these quests, actually? Okay. Infra, it seems like, is how we're doing it. A scan, so we're locked into the... You know, we can still do it down here, but... Unemployment's a problem. What's the other resource shortage? Okay, it's these two. Yeah, we know we can get you. Okay, well then... We know we can get you with minerals, right? We know we're trying to spend minerals right now. Okay, maybe we are actually looking at finally doing this. This may not be the best way. We could relay it out. Could relay it out. I'm okay with this. This is what it's gonna look like. It's minerals here. We get the quest completion. We're gonna send minerals up here. just an idea of like what the game is like here is all we're trying to do. So we relayed this one out. See, I promised though, it was all the way up to -8 like this one. We did solve it, quote unquote, but we're stuck with this -3 debuff for finally solving it. There's better plays here, I'm sure, but like I said, I'm rushing. Okay, wait for this guy. You know, we can solve that with a relay as well. Relay comes from down here. Remember, the relays end up costing you quite a bit in terms of both money and time. Actually out of range, okay. Just kidding, should probably measure with Alt. Do you want to take the plant? Here's your wheat, buddy, that you've been wanting all game. Also deliver the other wheat here. Minerals are a thing for us. So we're in this state now where we're... Okay, the Silithid quest is a problem. And we still don't have infra. I did say that I was going to use teleportation, but we're not going to do it right now. It's going to be next game, Simuse. Don't worry, when I'm trying. Okay. Yeah, I think playing for infra, like usual toward the end of my games, I'm playing for infra, which is going to let us start doing some work in here. I think if we have a spare pop, I will, or we'll check for spare pops to check ruins now, I think. Some text here in the late game would help us. Excuse me, I'm not seeing any the disadvantage to waiting, right, is that I'm not seeing any free pops now that I have available to check the ruins with. Again, pops don't get burned in the ruins necessarily. You just have to have a free one to check it. And I don't. I mean, there's a ruins here, but no pop nearby. Here, we're not getting on the pop out of view, are we? No, we're not. Okay. So then in November, with 2 months until infra, then I think what I'm going to do is pop asteroids for the remaining 2. I mean, we could scan around the edges. We could take a scan here at the edge in case we come up with like chips that we know we're going to need here. No dice. We could scan. We burned the potential chips on the bot resolution here. Okay. So now we're going to take infra. Aversion. Starbirth. Okay, it's going to be infra. It has to be infra. It's just fun to use. Okay, it's not going to do a ton for us, though, since we don't have any chips in our entire empire. Okay. Or water up here. Oh god, how is this going to work? Am I even going to be able to show you a single prosperous city? Seems like not. So the next upgrade for this city, so it says next level prosperous here. Okay, it has to trade with 3 other planets that are successful or better. Okay, it has 0 out of 3 now. And it requires a total of 6 imports and exports. What it means is just combination of imports and exports has to equal 6. It has, what is it, 5 out of 6? Yeah. So it needs to dump a pop. And it needs to have trading partners that are, like, you know, valuable, that are successful, right? And then it will turn the next level success. And this is the stage of the game that's usually fun for me. I mean, it's all fun, but, like, you know, this is where I have the most fun. So we know that we want to burn pops because unemployment, right? So it's good that we want to get rid of him anyway. We can dump him into a lab, but we're looking for... He also needs connections to successful planets, right? So we're looking for someone we can make successful or help push along towards successful with this pop. We are not seeing any. We're not seeing any. We're going to start doing some janky stuff here. Again, not super good, but what Infraspace does, this tech that we just got that's down here, Infraspace Mastery, lets us place a different type of relay. When you connect to this relay, lets you cross existing slipways. Okay, you still can't cross, like if I do this, you still can't cross, like infras can't cross infras, right? And there's another tech that we will probably take next called stream splitting that lets you, right now we can only, like if I take the pop that's down here and I put him in this planet right here, based on this relay, okay? So it pops out into the input here on this side, we want on the pop. Once you take stream splitting, you can actually take an additional vertex off of here to somewhere in here, okay? And if you're not rushing and you're planning and thinking ahead, and you can think to yourself, okay, well, this guy needed two things, right? He needed to burn a pop for unemployment purposes. Also, he needed to burn a pop to get to two imports, four exports. That gets him to the 6 he needed. He needs also a successful planet over here, though. This guy is not successful because he wants to export his goo. Well, we have someone who will take goo over here. Actually, here. It's better. Okay. So this vertex should be placed in such a way that once you get stream splitting, that you've planned to actually take the goo up there, which will flip this guy successful, which has the potential to flip this guy prosperous, and you get these cascades. Now, I placed it poorly for that, so let's not play super sloppy. So it would be like this, because we can see it's going to get the connection up there eventually. Once we have the tech for it, we'll take care of this now. Now we're planning, okay, we have a goo here. It's going to go here for the goo input on here. We just need to burn the goo, and this will burn the goo here. You know, potentially we would want to burn the goo over here, just because it would also, that wouldn't give this guy a better connection. It would give this guy a better connection. This guy is going to have problems going prosperous because, or successful because he's not looking like he's ever going to get water. Like, where's our water going to come? We're going to have to bring a planet online, which we can do. We have 6 years left. We have some time. We can start bringing more planets online. It's just, you know, you're in the stage of the game now, I think, once you get infra, where you want to start thinking about how to actually start driving score, reducing unhappiness, dealing with issues, etc. And then basically remembering that a successful planet is worth twice as much as an established planet. A prosperous planet is worth twice as much as successful. A legendary planet is worth twice as much as a prosperous. So really, you're trying to drive from the top down, right? Unless you have some crazy combinations, which you do, right? That's the fun of the game. So, okay, we got one pop earned. We have some plan, in theory, for that. What else? He needs another connection, right? So this hopefully will get him one. Oh no, it's not a good game. It's not a good game. He's gonna maybe have one. So we have other unemployment, right? 4? Where is this other unemployment? They're both of you. Okay, here's some. Okay. This guy needs a pop to go successful, which gives him another connection. So we're going to try and get the pops from in here. One of the pops from in here into here. That's again going to take info. We're not going to be able to squeeze it through here. We are going to be able to squeeze it through here. Okay, so if we can squeeze it through here, can we use the other vertex to deliver anything else? So we're going to have another pop available for delivery from over here. We also have goods that can go back. So actually maybe goods is the answer. And the reason is because we're sitting on goods right here. So if we place this in for a relay here, we're thinking about sending the pop out into here for successful here to get this guy at least 2 out of 3. And then actually, he wants goods in return. So we're going to connect the second vertex after stream splitting here to get this goods out back over there. And ideally, this guy would go successful because we're sending out the goods, except that our empire has no chips. All 3 of these guys here want chips. We have no chips. Still, we are going to send the unemployment out and flip this guy successful. It may still be worth taking this vertex with stream splitting to get the goods out, because that's all this guy needs to go successful. The problem is going to be another connection for this guy then. We have 1, 2 planned. We have 1 for him, 2 is planned, 3 for him. You know, it's chips, or water. Doesn't look good. Does not look good. Okay, where else can we get water? Okay, there. We can burn unemployment there for water. It's just that, like, are we going to route water all the way from up there, down here? There are lots of other places we need water on the way. Maybe we will. Maybe we will. I think we will. Why not? We're just doing it. It's fine. We're just doing things. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. It's fine. We're at the stage of the game where I'm a little delirious. Here we go. Here's an interesting mechanic we can show you as a result of this ghetto-ness that we're engaged in here. Remember, the goal is to get this guy his 3rd successful connection. This guy needs water to be successful. Let's see. Have I broken anything that we had planned? No. No. Because remember, you're not going to be able to cross these infras with other infras either, so... The mechanic I was talking about, though, is, I think here, maybe just for maximum flexibility, in case we do want to use this extra vertices. The mechanic I wanted to show you is, so we know we pay increasing costs for the slipways themselves, including the infras here, but when you chain relays like this together, it says increased cost here, and that's because the more you chain, the more expensive it becomes. once you get stream splitting, you can kind of start trying to build these little highways to places, but they become super, super expensive. Like if I were to add a third one here, it's not really even based on distance, right? Okay, here's a third one. This is costing 27, 39. You know, it just ends up being a lot of money. And I end up doing it in games anyway, but... And again, if we were microing super hard right now, and maybe we should, let's micro a little harder. Because we have 3 waters here, we have lots of water needs, so let's micro a little harder. So we know we want water here. How many vertices are we going to want? We can use one here. We can use one here. Then we would have to have actually another relay down here for the vertex, because you can only get 3 maximum connections on each one. So it would be like here, here. Should have misplaced. Should have placed this one better. But and then we actually have the opportunity to send pops back actually. So we may do some superhighway nonsense here. That's not the right guy. Sorry. Is this gonna work right now? I don't know. Let's see. Another pop out. Okay. Connection here. Connection here. Super expensive. Okay, we didn't actually want your water to go there. Don't do that. We have to be careful about the order of operations now. Okay, we need a connection here. Why is... Oh, we don't have stream splitting yet. How much time? Oh, we can take it. We can afford it now. We'll take stream splitting. Okay, we'll take the connection here. Also not where we want the pop. Oh no. How are we gonna do this? Order of operations matters. Okay. We're gonna send the water here. We know we want that. We know we want water here too. Oh, I did this wrong. We're gonna have to take it back. I have to disconnect this planet first. Okay, that's fine. Now it's okay. Okay, just keep him disconnected for now. Okay. We'll do one... Will we do one water here? Okay, we need stream splitting though. Are we gonna do the water here or here? The first one. The problem with all of these things up here is they're all running labs, and so the density of the connections between the planets themselves is not great. Maybe we're gonna do this one because at least someone up here has a shot, and this guy's gonna end up having a shot too. So we're gonna do this, I think. Not really thinking too super hard about it. So we did get a prosperous here because this guy was ready to go, and he got a 3rd successful connection when this guy went successful. We're gonna deliver the water here, which was the initial goal. Okay, so now we've delivered this guy's 3 waters. We planned actually to get this pop that's unemployment down here that we want done anyway. We've gonna deliver this pop up here to get this guy to go successful and actually give us another water, which we didn't plan for but should have. It should have been planned for right here. Is that right? We're gonna get a 4th water. Okay. Superhighway extension. This is really bad and really expensive, and I don't recommend it. Okay. 28, 40, 54, can't afford. Okay. Let's actually, okay, here. 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 There's the flip. We did roll over here, so we have a little bit more money. 5. Okay, it's less expensive to connect to a planet. Okay, did it wrong. Yeah, did it wrong. Why did you steal my pop, bro? Oh no, I want to choose. No, I should be able to choose. It should let me choose where this pop goes. It's not. It just stole it. Okay, why now is it letting me choose? It didn't before. Okay, we want this pop to go all the way up here for the water. Additional water comes out. Okay, but of course, before we do that, we have to make sure that the water, we get to choose where it goes. So we didn't want to suck it up all the way down here. The pop's going to go up here. We have the water. We get to choose where the water is going to go because we have 2 choices. We want it to go here. There we go. He goes prosperous. He's successful. This guy now has his connections. Now we had plans for what? The goo. We have to deliver the goo here. The goo has to be delivered here. He's successful. He went prosperous. He went prosperous. So you can see, this is the fun of the game to me. This is the fun part of the game. I mean, it's all fun, like I said before, but the sort of like microing and planning at the end when you're trying to get things where they have to go. And there's other techs other than infra, which is what we're using here, that lets you do this type of thing. But the sort of cascading effects that you start looking for and getting after the growth phase are super fun for me and super satisfying. So we have, we have 4 years left. I don't know, reasonable income, it's not super great. We're up against the 40 barrier here, so remembering that. And we're taking this new mechanic called slip space overload, where for each additional slipway we draw, we're going to take further economic pain. Because we haven't completed this Silithid quest yet, this would significantly hurt our score if we don't complete it. So you get score for completing them, but you also take negative score if you don't complete them. Okay, we have one more unemployment to deal with eventually, but really we need to fix a forge, because if there's a forge we can make successful, that really needs to happen, and the problem is chips everywhere. So we probably are going to look for another forge to see if we can actually get a single chip anywhere in our empire. Oh no. Yeah. It's chips everywhere. Okay, what about flexible fabrication? Okay. No. Sorry, just kidding. It's the other one. We don't have it. Okay, Starbirth could help us. Okay, so can Plasma. Do we have water? We just used all the water. We just used all the water. Okay, we have infra options here. That's right. That's right. What were we doing here? We need to infra you a chip for a bot. We can't get that. You already have this bot. We need to get you a bot. This guy needs a bot badly. Here's a bot. Okay. This is how it's gonna work. We're going to infra him a bot. Oh, it's gonna be, we're not gonna have enough money. We're gonna end up passing here. Wait, I did not choose the right relay. Can't afford. In July, we can't afford. Okay. It's bad now. It's bad. Okay. Don't pass turns unless you have to in my rule book. Okay, so okay, we need this bot here. Bot goes to here. Bot's gonna create a water. Okay, the water needs to be used. Okay. If the water is used here as a chip, we just get an energy out, which we can't actually feed into there. So it actually just has to be used straight with another plasma. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. There's other options. We're out of money here. We can't even afford the plasma. We're gonna hit next just to try and bring this game to a swift end. I don't know if you're still watching or not, buddy, but okay. So that completes the task, which we really wanted to do for score reasons. We're not even gonna look at those. 32 months left. So now we're looking for like how can we create the most prosperous? Really, like the answer is with chips. We need chips like everywhere. We need so many chips. We're probably going to bring a planet online and try and route some chips in various places. I mean, here, for example, chips here gets us energy, energy, energy. Pretty bad. It's pretty bad now for all kinds of reasons. But, like, we're going to have, because it's going to cost us a lot, right? So we're going to end up infraing. Did I pick infra? Oh, here it is. Okay, let's plan for the vertexes though. Okay. So, because we want the chip out here too, so we're gonna infra him over a. Did that work? Did we have that? Surely not. I don't know what I was thinking there. It's not a good placement for that. We need to get the mineral to him. Why is it? Okay, it's not showing me. I'm just being a dum-dum. I guess it's gonna be somewhere over here. Okay. Then if it's on the outside, then we're not going to use an infra because it's just more expensive. We're just going to use a regular relay on the outside here. Is what we're going to do here. So we're going to give him the mineral. Okay. He's creating 3 chips now. We burned a mineral. We funded that new planet that we brought online that we don't really want to bring online. We're going to take the vertex here. It's going to give us an energy when we do this because it's been waiting for a chip the whole time to give us energy. We can actually use the energy to drive water here by feeding this guy a pop. It will flip him successful, give us some water. We could plasma it and do some stuff with that. So we're now playing like energy shenanigans. We can take energy driven industry here. Where is it? Here it is. Energy driven industry. Planets and structures receiving energy have their production increased by 1 unit of each product. So we'll take it. It can screw us in various places. If I've used energy anywhere that's creating pops right now, then that's unemployment that I just created that I have to deal with, but we weren't. So we also want to be careful about it. It can be useful too if you need those pops, but sometimes if you've been using energy as a crutch all the way through the game and then all of a sudden you just created like 8 pops you have to deal with at the end, you don't want to do that. So just be cognizant of that. So we're going to end up, I think, chaining these chips into both of these plasmas and then out again from the plasmas who are creating energy. Why aren't you giving me? Oh, I have to drag it in. Okay. Wants to know where to send it. So now we have 2 energies here, 1 energy here. These energies are going to end up being like, basically, I think, further chips up here. It's going to create a lot of extra goods in here again when we pass these energies in. So we'll plan for 1 vertex here. Will we? Hold on. We want to be careful now because, oh, we had to plan for goods for you. We had to plan for chips for this. Okay, this is good. This is the plan. So we know that remember we had this goods here that we need to get here, and we also needed an additional connection. We were worried about this guy being able to flip because he wasn't going to have chips. Well, now he's going to have chips. So he's going to have chips here. We are going to pull energy in for chips. He's got energy. He's producing extra goods now. We're also going to send the goods over here. Here's a prosperous. Here's a success. We did get an extra pop. We can burn the pop, it looks like. It wants to know where, because this guy's attached to the superhighway. The expensive superhighway boondoggle. Paid for by tax dollars. So this pop has lots of options now, and what we're considering now for him is, so these guys probably, like, almost certainly have the number of connections. Okay, just kidding, they don't, because they're not trading with them, they're not trade partners yet, but, okay, this guy can get 2 out of 3 connections and 4 out of 6. He can receive a pop and get to 5 out of 6 and 3 out of 3. Which means then we just have to dump a mineral up here somehow. Which we can't really do super easily because this infer line is creating this huge block to sending things on this side of it because I didn't add any additional vertices because we wouldn't have been able to afford that. But can we dump your minerals anywhere else? Yeah, we can dump his minerals over here. So we can make this guy go prosperous with this pop. Okay, we burn the unemployment, we make him prosperous. This guy's in basically the exact same situation. This guy is maybe easier because it might be easier to dump bots usefully. Let's see. No, it's kind of everything's closed off for this guy here. Same is true here, actually. So this is the play. We're going to take the pop up here, burn the unemployment. He also needs to burn a mineral. We're going to infer that out right here. Can we also... can we also plant... So we're inferring a mineral here to this bot here. We're trying to see if anyone wants a bot up here. No one wants a bot up here. It doesn't matter. Just make some moves and get the game here. So this guy flipped prosperous as expected. This guy still wants chips. What's new? Okay, we have some energy down here still that we can pass along. We have bots here that we can burn. Here the connections are like, I don't know, maybe pretty good, except we've inferred everything off now. It's kind of a problem. Yeah, this guy's bots aren't really going to go anywhere. What's this vertex doing? Not sure what we're going to do there. I don't see a ton of options. We can get goods over here with further infer madness. Maybe we should. This guy needs what? He's 2 out of 3, 4 out of 6. We can dump 1. This will flip to successful. That'll get him 3 out of 3. But then we also have to either get him an energy or an ore. Now he needs energy, right? Originally he needed chips. We can't give him chips anymore. We have to give him energy now, which we can. We have another source of energy here, so we could do that. So we could infer out is okay, just kidding, we don't have any money. Hit next. I wouldn't actually do ordinarily. I would try and find like micro moves that are super cheap and so on, but okay, so lawyer for the goods over here. He went prosperous because he had the connections already. This guy has a chance of going prosperous. We have to get him this final energy down here. We have 9 months left, 9 quote-unquote moves, except that like, okay, we're paying 1 month to place this relay. Okay, 2 months, 3 months here to deliver this here. We could, not really. There wasn't a super better way. Okay. Probably have to place it better than that though. It'll go internally here. If it will, does it just reach? It does. That doesn't help us. Yes, it does, actually. It does, because it's a separate energy source. So this energy is going to go here. It's a separate energy source from the previous energy that he's receiving. So it counts as his second input, which will give him his 6-second energy input. So it'll give him 6. Okay, we have to drag it because it has multiple options. Drag it here. He goes prosperous. Okay, so now we have an energy here we're sitting on. Lots of bots down here we're sitting on. Very few moves left. Okay. This guy. Okay, 0 out of 3. Just kidding. We're not touching you. Alright, you're not attached to anyone. Okay, you? No, you're infrared off. We can't get this energy over there easily at all, and we don't have, like, spare vertices right now. We have to go, like, all the way around and whatever. No one down here. Everyone down here is super light, so we're trying to find a way then to send this energy into here, maybe? Can you actually end up going? 2 out of 3, 4 out of 6. There is a chance. With 8 months left, there's a chance. How do we make this happen for you? Is there unemployment still? No. Oh god, okay, wait, hold on. We need to fix unemployment first. Because that's minus 2% score. This guy, really? I stranded a pop-up here with all these infers over here? Oh no, this was just another... Okay. That's pretty bad. He's gonna get sent just for no extra benefit except the output for him and burning the unemployment, which is super important, but no chance of actually flipping this here without the water. But also just the cheapest way I could get rid of that pop. Okay, 5-ish moves left. Where's this other pop? I'm missing him. Where is he? He is here somewhere. 1 pop. Mr. Pop. Mr. Pop. Wait, oh, here he is. Okay. All right. You have connections and a spare vertex. Okay, so we could just dump him right into here. Is that the best place? No, probably not, because this guy has a shot. Okay, so this guy has a shot. We have a pop we need to burn. We can burn him there with just a month. So then we're looking at how do we get rid of your goo or give you another pop, but we know we don't have any more pops. How do we get rid of your goo? Okay, here's your goo input. I think you're already super highwayed into there. Yeah, you are. We used that extra vertex. That was that whole play from earlier, I think. Oh no, that's bad. Okay. Okay, next level tactics, which means just bad tactics, not actually next level. So we sent the pop here. We're at 0 unemployment. We are left with these past shortage debuffs that we have no way of getting rid of because we don't have mind control. Is that right? Yeah, we don't have mind control. So we're stuck with those debuffs. That's fine. I don't care. So this guy is at... He has 3 out of 3. It's not showing it, but he does. 5 out of 6. We have no way to dump the goo. Well, okay. Oh, no. 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 Okay, hold on. Hold on. September? Oh, no. This game. This game. I swear to God, this game. Okay, so what I was going to say was... It's alright, because we can put down a lab. Okay, a lab costs 2 months plus 1 month for the connection, but it costs 15 to place the lab, and I think like 3 or 4 is going to be the minimum cost right now on drawing this slipway for the goo to get out. So then we've spent 3 months notionally, right? So we have 4 months left. We have 1 month to find an asteroid that will give us at least, yeah, too much. At least like 12. Even 12 is like probably not enough. I think it has to be more than that. We don't have one. I'm gonna look pretty carefully though. These final moves are always like... Muse knows if she's still here. She knows how I agonize. It's not gonna happen though. It's not gonna happen. We don't have it. This asteroid is like 6. It's the best we've got. Oh no. Oh, it's terrible. Alright, it's fine. It's fine. Let's just end the game. So, we have this energy. Energy, once it's bouncing like this, it doesn't cost a move to send it anywhere. So we can pop a successful here. That's just some free score. It looks like probably the best free score we can do too. The only other option is maybe for chips here, if there was some export that was needing chips still. I don't see one though on that path. So it's probably just a successful here, it looked like. Okay. Yeah, we had water to play with too down here. We should have been doing all kinds of shenanigans here. Alright, so again, we're still at 4 months, so not a big deal. We just don't have any money. Because, you know, I'm bad. Okay, alright, so we'll take 6. Can we draw like a slipway somewhere? Hmm. 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 No. I'm probably gonna call it here. I don't usually give up either. It's not usually a... But I've been playing so sloppy that I'm not super invested in this game. We had a vertex here. What? A goo export vertex? Wait a second. Are they attached? No, they're not. They're not. No, this is, he wants to send goo anyway. Where can you send goo on this path? You can't really. We can't do anything with you, right? No. 2 out of 3, 4 out of 6 is too many with 3 months left. There was a move here somewhere. I'm just not seeing it. Anyway, that's the gist of the game, right? So usually I like my final moves to be satisfying, right? Like it's like, find one good final move, and there is one here, but I'm not gonna make you suffer through it. So we can scan here. See, this asteroid's super valuable. Okay, it's a desert. We had a vertex here. What can we do with it? Nothing. We're just gonna attach this. Okay, send your goo wherever. Okay, 1 month left. There's a vertex somewhere else. We can attach it to something. Just attach it to something. Nope, can't afford. Just kidding. 5. No. No, don't make me scan. It's the final move. Oh. It's disheartening. It's depressing. This is a reasonable mode. Here was 6 that we missed. Oh. Okay. 4, 5. That's terrible. It's terrible. Stars go up to platinums and things and so on. This is not a good game. Oh well. Alright, so that's the game. That's the gist of it, right?